who's potentially listening and all my players to the first session of Season 2 of the USS Guan Yu. I am your GM, Tyler. I'm not going to ask for introductions right now from everybody else. You'll figure out everybody's name as you're going. The first scene, just to set the scene beforehand, as a recap, you've been dealing with this precursor civilization, the Mai, for the last couple of weeks. You are now on your way back home, back to Deep Space Fortitude, in order to get back and settle into some normalcy. It was about I believe it was like a 2-week journey to get to my homeworld, to the vault, as it was called. And you are now on your way back. You have a 2-week journey. The first scene that we're going to go ahead and start with, we're going to start with Captain Lee and Admiral Lee at this time, and Captain Edwards. It's probably around 7 o'clock in the evening. Edwards, you get a communication from the bridge that says that there is an Admiral Yannick calling for you on subspace. For you on subspace, you see that it's also CC'd. Admiral Lee is also supposed to be in the meeting as well.
Very good.
Make way a couple minutes later. Admiral Lee, the door opens, and Captain Nick Edwards has walked in. On screen on your little computer terminal now is a human-looking Vice Admiral. You see the three dots in the box on the pips. Neither of you have ever met Vice Admiral Howard Yannick. That's spelled Janek. For that, as I'm looking at the log, and Edwards is trying to type it. For that, you see he's sort of typing away on a pad and sees Captain Edwards walks in. Gentlemen, I'm glad that we were able to catch you on subspace. I have some news in regard to some new orders for you. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to head directly back to Fortitude. I'm going to be diverting you. Well, I suppose I should probably introduce myself. I'm Vice Admiral Howard Yannick. I have been sent from Starfleet Command to take command of the Shackleton initiative that you have been commanding for the past months. My condolences, by the way, about Admiral Cohen. I heard that she ran into some of the dangers of the Shackleton Expanse, and unfortunately she lost her life. I hope that that loss did not affect you as much as it affected us back home.
Absolutely.
Certainly. Well, I am taking command of Deep Space Fortitude and the Shackleton Initiative, as I said. Narendra Station, which you're familiar with, is going to be becoming refocused. They're not so much going to be a exploratory base. They are going to be hunkering down and battering down the hatches at this point. As you know, they are very close to the Klingon border, and we, unfortunately, are. You see that he looks at actually like an actual watch on his wrist. We are about 6 hours away from us being in all-out war with the Klingon Empire. They have not stepped down. It seems like Gowround has something to prove. other than the Cardassian initiatives that he's already put in place. Any and all peace envoys have been sent away. Federation citizens have been kicked out of the Empire at large. I know that some preparation has been made for Deep Space Fortitude. It's going to be business as usual. I have a couple of directives for you at this time. Number one, if you see a Klingon vessel, cloaked, uncloaked, otherwise, I would call for an immediate red alert. They are, as of this point, are enemies. That is very unfortunate, but that's what needs to happen. Number two, I am going to be diverting you to a planet that you've actually been to before, I believe. I've been looking over the Guan Yu's logs. It seems like you had a very eventful contact with the Romulans on board a planet that you were making first contact with. Is that correct? Yes, especially
like all such interactions, there's always a certain level of miscommunication.
I agree, certainly. You see that he has kind of grayish hair that's slicked back. You see, if you didn't know any better, you would think that he was rather tired. Sort of graying sacks kind of hang below his smaller eyes. You can see sort of tension in his face as he's saying this. We have heard some disturbing reports from that planet. It seems that there has been something of a political upheaval. Apparently, the local populations did not take too kindly to, you see, he checks his notes, to President Narnelian, I believe that was her name. Seems that she was outed as being very vocally with the Romulans. Seems like her constituents did not take too kindly to that. We have gotten some reports from that planet. As you know, we've been sending diplomatic envoys to sort of negotiate with the Romulans and with the Orion people. We're going to be sending you there to pick up an Orion diplomatic envoy. Apparently, this new first minister was their previous defense minister. I believe it was. You see, he seems to be. He's looking around at a lot of different data pads that he has in front of him. He appears to be.
I've been imagining him this whole time with actual sheets of paper instead of data pads. He's one of those eccentric guys.
Well, right, no, you might hear paper rustling on my end, but that's just because I have my notes, and I'm trying to make that effect. But he has data pads that he's kind of a big stack of them. A First Minister Arlen will be coming on board the Guan Yu. Apparently, there's to be some sort of a welcome banquet of some sort to welcome the Federation envoy, yourself, of course. Your orders are to, of course, use diplomatic niceties, bring along the delegation back to Deep Space Fortitude, where we should have some sort of a conference with them. We need to make sure that they are who they are, that they are on the up and up, to employ a human expression. And it seems like they are interested in becoming a subsidiary of the Federation. Whether that be a protectorate is the word that I'm trying to think of. And we are here to evaluate that status, and since we've already made first contact with them, since you've already made first contact with them, it seems like they are open for consideration at this time. Was there anything that you noticed about the Orient civilization that would make Federation protectorate status not good at this time?
I'm just amazed at. No, I'm sorry. I was just amazed at the rapid change in attitude that these people or their government has had.
Like I said, Admiral, it's an upheaval like we've very rarely seen. It seems they've. I mean, this President Narnelian appears to have been a Romulan loyalist. This new First Minister appears to be all gushing about the Federation. Seems very interesting.
Rather fortuitous for us.
Very fortuitous for us, considering the fact that we need all the allies that we can, even though they only discovered that they had warp capability within the past couple of, I believe you, in your log, you put last couple of months before. Any allies that we can have in the Shackleton would do a great deal with us, trading partners. They have a large supply, I'm sure you remember, a large supply of dilithium at their disposal. And it would be great for the Federation to have that, especially considering the impending war that's about to happen.
Yes, dilithium.
So, your orders, go, pick the First Minister up, bring them to Deep Space Fortitude, where we will have further diplomatic talks.
I'm sorry. Do we really expect some serious pushback from the Romulans here for, of course, sending a, state-of-the-art starship to convey the minister to seems like quite a bit of effort on our part to act as a taxi, as it were, especially at this time when tensions are high throughout the neutral zone, and perhaps we could be of use showing the flag elsewhere.
You see the Admiral narrows his eyes. Well, Admiral, as you well know, we all have our duties to perform. I know for a fact that the USS Venture has been diverted from Deep Space Fortitude and is currently showing the flag. A science vessel isn't exactly what we need to show our technological prowess. Something much larger like the Galaxy class that the Venture is certainly a little bit more intimidating and a little bit more sturdy, I should say. So, and it's on your way anyways, so I figured it wouldn't be that much of a inconvenience for you, I'm sorry to say.
Not an inconvenience, sir. Just curious what we might expect in terms of perhaps a response from the Romulans.
From our latest intelligence reports, the Romulans have all but abandoned the system. There's been no intercepted chatter, certainly no vessels like the ones that you encountered. We have established communications with the planet itself through other means. They appeared to be very vocally anti-Romulan, and well, I'm sending you there to be to use diplomacy. I'm also sending you there to determine if there is another side to this, which seems like a fun enough time. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Admiral, one clarification, if you may, sir. You mentioned that we are to treat any encounters with Klingon vessels as potentially hostile, to automatically go on red alert, shields up. Am I to assume that if they are clearly on, or encountered in our territory, that would constitute or their presence would constitute an act of war, and we are allowed to initiate hostilities?
Well,
I just
certainly,
need clarification.
we are not trying to rile up the Klingons at this point. They seem to be riled enough as it is. If you... Well, I leave it to your judgment, Admiral. I suppose if there is a situation that lends itself to where a aggressive response is required, then I leave that up to you. But of course, the Federation is never about waging war. It's always about defense, and that's what this war is all about. So, I leave that up in your capable hands. One last thing, and then I'm afraid I have a meeting that I need to get to back here on Fortitude. Since I've been assigned to the Shackleton area, your 2 field commissions, the 2 of you, will no longer be necessary. Unfortunate for you, I need you where you are, which is there on your ship, exploring and making scientific investigations, like your business with the Mai. So, as of right now, your ranks, respectively, are going to be captain and commander, as they were when you arrived. Unfortunately, at this time, I'm not going to be taking any protests over this. If you'd like to file anything written, be my guest. But if not,
Right.
well, the issue of protectorate status is certainly one that issue may be called upon. There are also other avenues that we could go forward. A formal trading relationship would also be something that would be negotiated here on DS Fortitude. Something that would get us a nice supply line over here that we don't have to rely on ships coming through Klingon space, which, as you could probably guess, is not the safest at the moment. Absolutely, Commander. Well, you have your orders. Do you have any other questions for me? I suppose we'll be getting to know each other in person when you arrive.
We look forward to that.
Thank you, Captain. Admiral Yannick out, and the feed goes dark.
That's right, Commander. If I had known that I would be demoted before coming into the cabin, I would have considered some sort of one last crazy order, but that's okay. Live and learn. Oh well. That's fine. I leave that to you, but whatever you choose to do, you have my approval.
You hear a ping at the door. Doo-doo.
Do you think the crew was like eavesdropping on our communication or something? And yeah. Enter.
In walks Commander Kyle. You see he is wearing the blue sort of science uniform. Ah, Captain, rather Admiral and Captain, I do not mean to intrude if you are having a formal meeting of sorts. I wanted to make you aware that I have received new orders that I'm sure you would be informed of this decision. I will be, once we get back to Deep Space Fortitude, I will be transferred first onto Narendra Station, and then if this war goes any longer than we think, I may be I'm leaving myself open to transfer on a combat ship. We have done some great work together. I appreciate everything that you've done. I can't sit, even though I'm a science officer, I can't really feel comfortable sitting and being on a science vessel doing exploration during a time like this.
I didn't realize this. If war is coming to us, I think we're all going to see service in one way or the other. So, I'm sure we will see our share of combat. We will certainly miss you. I would have you reconsider it if you think that we aren't going to end up seeing any combat, unfortunately. But I applaud your choice if that's really what you would like to pursue, and having the courage to follow your own convictions and such. It has been, an honor to have you on board the ship, and we hope that consider extending that.
Thank you, Admiral. For your information, Ensign Sural will be staying on board. You are in need of doctors very much out here, I can see. So he will be here to assist. If there is anything else, I believe I have a bridge duty coming up.
Captain? Yes? Anything else? Well, yeah, but they don't know that yet.
Sounds fun. And, Commander Kyle smiles and turns and goes back to the bridge.
I think so. Well, what's life without a little intrigue, huh? Well, that's sort of funny. It's like 7 to 8 in the evening. Are either of us really doing a shift at this time of day on the bridge?
No, you guys would both be off duty.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, why don't I so we should change set course and head back to, oh my god, name of this system again? Orion. All right. Well,
is that what the natives call it, or is that what we called it? Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to touch the comm badge and go helm, set course to Orion, port factor 6.
And Nishizumi responds.
Crickets.
Nishizumi, you're on.
Yeah, sorry. I was reading something.
No, it's fine.
Go ahead.
That's all right.
You're just giving you orders to go to where we're going.
Oh, okay.
Remutes.
Wait, who's the captain again? Who's good? Who's telling me to do
Lee.
this?
Captain Lee.
All right.
Yeah.
Understood.
Well, yes. Well, I'm gonna talk to Edwards here. I think I'm gonna have to make an announcement shortly on the fact that we're reverting back to our ranks and positions here. Oh boy.
Okay. For everyone's information, there is it is about a 2-week journey back to DS Fortitude. It would be about it would take a day additional to stop at Orion. It's a simple diversion, just kind of inching to the right a little bit. You are about a week and 3 days out from your destination. Are there any Commander Kelly, Lieutenant Nishizumi, Dr. Hagen? Are there any?
I actually did have a thing I wanted to do.
Okay, great.
That sample of nanites that I took from Lieutenant Commander Kelly, I would like to extract the data that is on one of those nanites, put it on a isotopic chip, put it in the holodeck, and have the Mai review the information.
I would definitely like to assist with that.
Okay. Yeah, totally. To copy the data over to a isolinear chip.
Isolinear. That was the word I was looking for.
No, totally. Give me control engineering. Difficulty of 2.
And can I assist on it?
Yeah. How are you going to be assisting?
Just setting up a secure connection, making sure that none of the old Borg OS is still on that nanite before we put it on, hook it up to another isolinear chip.
Oh
That
god,
kind of
the
thing.
Borg run Windows ME.
Alright. Yeah, I'd allow an assist. Tell you what, I'll allow you to assist at an increased complication. Just 2 people doing something that's sensitive around Borg stuff.
In that case, it's all you, Kelly.
Okay.
Yeah. Control engineering difficulty 2.
Right. Computer focus and computer expertise come into play?
Totally.
Yeesh. There we go.
1 momentum generated. Yeah, you are able to do what you wanted to do. It takes a little bit. You have to go through the microcircuitry on the nanite, cross-connect it over to an isolinear chip, and then fiddle with the structure of the data. But you're able to copy and move the data over without any errant Borg subroutines getting onto the chip itself.
No blue screen of death pops up.
No blue screen of death, yeah.
Right then. I keep forgetting how to pronounce your character's name.
Sersha.
Sersha. Right then, Sersha. Should we go to the holodeck?
Yeah.
All right then.
No reason to wait.
Yeah, you head down to the holodeck. You see that there is you're going to the to Sunny's holodeck.
Yes.
Okay. You see the door bars you from entry because it says that there is a program running currently.
I suppose we should knock.
Hi. And I press the doorbell button.
Warning, safety protocols deactivated.
That's not a good sign.
Computer, what program is running?
shit. No, I had something in my throat. I was chewing a chip and I choked.
If you're dying, can I be the GM then? Exactly.
Sorry, I'm crying.
Oh, come on. We're not that bad. I know Sersha's pulled some shit, but...
K2 rock climbing simulation.
We should probably
then.
do something about that before Sunny falls to their death.
I don't believe they can. They haven't evidenced any actual physical characteristics as of yet.
Yeah, but if the safety protocols are disengaged, I don't actually know how that would interact with their programming. If it would damage or corrupt it?
What could it?
I don't know. I
Make
just said I haven't studied that.
But how far could they actually fall?
It's K2. I believe, which is the second highest, tallest mountain on Earth.
Yeah, it's like the second or third tallest mountain in North America. It's gigantic.
K2's in Africa, I think. But whatever. It's semantic at this point. If you want to make a roll, I can give you information.
I would like to.
Insight, engineering, difficulty 3. Are you using any ship equipment to assist with this? If not, probably...
Can I make the same roll to see if I see it? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you both can make the same roll, totally. Actually, I'm going to say that one person can be the main roller, and then the other person can assist.
Alright. I don't have a focus on this, so I'll just assist.
Alright, do any of my focuses come into play?
You're talking about computers and metaphysics? Let's see. One moment, please. No. I don't think so.
Computer expertise goes to programming as well. Does that come into play?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Alright. And let's get this rolled. Nice!
Crazy. Alright, one momentum generated. You think that if you sort of think back to what you know about holography, you have the feeling that that Sunny cannot really hurt themselves, because at most, Sunny, the only reason why Sunny is a thing is because they are projecting their programming and their consciousness into a hologram.
Okay.
Which is not really, is tangible, but it's not able to be hurt by falling. Or by
Follow-up
bludgeoning.
question. Could they feel pain?
That's a... spend a momentum. I'll give you the information.
Okay, sure.
If it's possible that they would feel pain if they have activated, if they have gone further in the holographic sort of deeper into the rabbit hole, if they've activated tactile responses and put in like sensory, sensory diagnostics and analytics into their program, they would certainly feel what would be called pain for a hologram. But they are not in any physical danger. Like, their code's not going to get fucked up.
Why would Sunny disengage the safeties?
Not sure. But, I don't feel comfortable entering the holodeck without the safeties on. So, computer, reinitialize safeties, please.
Oh, we should still ask permission. Don't be rude.
Authorization required.
Authorization Hagen Delta 7.
Might as well be talking to myself.
Safety protocols re-engaged. Enter when ready.
If they would like to reactivate them when we're gone, they can feel free. And I enter.
You enter?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk into a holodeck. It is blisteringly cold. Snow whips around you. You hear it's definitely below zero. You sort of you immediately like clutch your chest as you walk in. You put your hand in front of you to sort of so you're able to see. You're sort of you get an idea of your surroundings through the thick snow that's sort of covering everything. You are on a mountainside on a small ledge, a snow-covered ledge, made out of whatever material K2 is mainly made out of. I think
Granite,
it's
mostly.
probably granite. Yeah. Yeah, you're on a granite mountain face. You kind of look up and you see a sort of blue humanoid figure using sort of hand tools to sort of climb their way up.
Sonny!
Sersha takes one step
lower the
in
intensity of the blizzard, please?
and immediately starts swearing in so many languages. She can apparently swear in Tamarian.
You can barely hear Kelly swearing over. You can still hear it, but the blizzard is sort of going.
I did ask the computer to lower the intensity of the blizzard a little bit.
By what order of magnitude? The computer shouts over the blizzard.
Order of 5? Basically,
you see that it sees. You see the blowing storm calms into like a nice light snowfall. Still overcast skies, but you can see sort of off the side of the cliff. You are thousands of feet up at this point.
Computer, give me a warm parka.
You see, you see a gray parka goes on you. Specifications for color.
Gray is fine.
Computer, double that order.
You see a second parka goes on Kelly.
I take the second parka and put it on me.
I love holodecks. It's so fun. Yeah. You see.
Remember, Kestra, computers do exactly what you tell them to.
That's why I prefer people.
You should be careful. Some people will too.
Yes, I'm one of them.
You are both looking up. Sunny is about maybe 20 or 30 feet above you. You see like a blue, sunny-shapeless humanoid form with sort of harnesses, a rope going up, a large spooling rope going down, and she looks. They look down. It's pretty fun up here, huh?
Yes,
bit cold.
Very.
Yeah.
Sonny, would you mind coming down here? We have something to show you.
Okay, just one moment, and you see she does a and it slides right down. Yes, what did you have?
Well, Lieutenant Commander Kelly and I were working together, and we believe that we may have a large amount of the culture and files of the My civilization, and we would like to give them to you.
Oh. Okay.
Also, why do you turn the safeties off?
Well, you see Sunny, sort of blinks. You see sort of like a shapeless, featureless face with sort of a protrusion which looks like a nose and open, like, eye slits with, like, light blue surrounded by dark blue, which you think are eyes. The eyes sort of squint a little bit, and they look down. I was running an experiment.
What were the parameters?
I was I was trying to figure out. Well, I was trying to figure out if I was afraid of heights, but the computer was making it very very
Safe.
yeah, yeah. And I'm sorry. Did I do something wrong?
No, I was just curious.
Oh, okay. Do you want to come climbing with me? Or no. Sorry. And Sunny sort of shakes her head. You had something. Sunny extends a hand.
I hand her the chip. Them the chip.
I see. Well, computer and program other than my program. They sort of squint. The computer takes a second. The mountain sort of falls away. Temperature goes back to normal levels. Sunny points to a computer console that's sort of on the other side of the hall. You can see it out of the open door. There's a computer console with a isolinear entry point. Stick it in that console. I have control over it. I should be able to take in the data. It might take a while, but
Plug it in.
you plug it in.
Yep.
Okay. As you plug it in, you see Sunny's hologram vanishes. And you're standing in an empty holodeck.
Sunny?
They're probably busy looking at the data.
Yes, more than likely, although... How long would it take a computer to look at a file?
That depends entirely upon the speed of the computer and the size of the file, Doc. I mean, come on, that's computation 101.
Of course I know that, but I mean a computer program that runs on a Starfleet computer in a holodeck shouldn't take more than a few seconds.
You're making some assumptions there.
And right when you say that, a humanoid figure appears behind you.
Sunny?
You see they turn around, and you see a 7.5 foot tall, very curvy and shapely figure in front of you. Long, flowing silver hair with very small face features, sort of dark yellow eyes, sort of a very blank canvas sort of clothing set on.
I'm sorry. All I can imagine is the vampire lady from Resident Evil. Am I imagining this right?
Very thin though. You curves sort of in the figure, but very sort of very, very thin. The thing that you're thinking of is kind of, to employ a phrase, busty.
Yeah.
Thick, I think is the word.
Yeah, thick.
Lady Dimitri, or whatever her name is.
Domorescu or whatever.
Dimitrescu, I think.
Dimitrescu.
She still sounds hot.
Yeah, no, it absolutely. Kestra Hagen might have a little bit of a blush going on.
You see the figure looks down at you. They're 7.5 foot tall.
Oh. Hello.
That's different.
Yes, very. Sunny? Is that you?
Yes, I'm Sunny.
Oh dear.
You've grown a bit since I last saw you.
Yes, that
Well-
did happen.
Thank you, Kestra, for the information that you've given me. My people had their moral quandaries, but I am glad that I am now myself.
So good to meet you properly. And I give the mental impression. Do you remember what happened? How you became the way you were?
My memories are, unfortunately, well, at least the memories that were Sunny's are very short. I remember a lot of what has happened on board this vessel, but that's where my Sunny, my memories, and the figure you see in front of you is the figure that my people had long ago, before we ascended.
Well, they had quite the aesthetic.
Yes, we are as varied as you beings are, but we this is the form that
So-
I've chosen.
Okay. So here's my question then. Do you know what happened to the Mai?
That is a very difficult question. The war wreaked havoc on our people. And of course, as wars are, there were good people and very bad people on both sides. I will not say that the Mai were not guilty of horrible atrocities, but I know that that some of us ascended. The ones that survived ascended. The ones that remained were unfortunately a part of a small race that dwindled out of existence.
What does ascension mean exactly? Full digitization of your mind?
That is the
Kind of a crude way to put it.
you see Sunny chuckles. That is a very narrow view of what ascension is. We look at ascension as a emancipation, as a freedom that we cannot give in this world, in this universe. Sunny, well, I've been looking back at my people's history, and Sunny, you see, the figure's eyes sort of shut, and her head sort of shakes back and forth.
I just lost audio. Give me a moment.
Oh, sorry.
Check.
Hello.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Damn it, I have to get back into character now.
The figure's eyes roll back.
Yeah, the figure's eyes shut, and the head sort of shakes back and forth. It's interesting because I can surmise what happened to me previously. I believe I was captured by the Varank. For what means I do not know, but that is how I was recovered from the substance in that chamber. That was my first memory. I was trying to escape, I saw my chance and got out.
That makes sense.
So is this your... This is your plane. This is your universe.
Yes. I
Roughly
think.
4 dimensions that we can interact with. Well, 3, and we
Five,
just...
technically.
I don't know. Time, we're just sort of along for the ride with time.
Depends.
Outside of shenanigans, we're along for the
It's
ride
happened
with time.
before, Saoirse.
I know. That's why I said aside from shenanigans.
The way you the way you beings interact is rather percussive.
Elaborate?
It's a lot of sound, a lot of just noise. It's very difficult for me to communicate in this way.
I switched to mental. Would you prefer a telepathic conversation?
The sense that you get telepathically is, number one, this being's mind is not physically there.
Right.
So you're not really getting anything here. You're getting sort of the presence, the my presence there. You're not.
Mhm.
You find. I won't even have you roll for it. It's become less tangible to you. It's very scattered, very elusive isn't the right word, but sort of ever present, but flowing through and ever changing.
Ephemeral?
Ephemeral. That's the freaking word that I couldn't think
Sonny,
of.
would you appreciate getting a physical body to inhabit?
Well, we're working on that.
Right, but your mental presence has become scattered. I worry that spending too long as pure ephemeral programming may harm you.
Yes, I see that may be my only option at this point. I wish to walk around and be like you, but I also yearn for more. Anyway, I'm getting very fatigued. If you'd like to visit later, you may. I need to shut off the program.
Certainly.
Thank you.
You know how to reach us.
You see, they didn't need to say anything. The figure just vanishes.
Wow, that was a lot.
Yeah, it was. Do you need a moment? Maybe a drink?
That was the most
Clear your head?
significant archaeological discovery in centuries.
I think you mean anthropological, but yeah.
And as Dr. Hagen processes the massive size of this anthropological or
Why
archaeological...
was she hot?
That's what I said, damn it.
Saoirse just pats her on the shoulder. For a moment there, I was going to ask you if you needed to wipe your mouth, but I didn't want to embarrass you.
Jeez. Oh my god.
Are there any... we're still en route. Is there anything else that perhaps Nishizumi or Lee or Edwards, did you guys have anything you wanted to go through? If not, we can just skip ahead to getting to the planet. But
yeah. Nishizumi will look into perhaps trying to get a tank.
okay.
She's gonna do it.
Now, this is something that I will begrudgingly, I will allow. But you have to be specific for me. Are you going through traditional, like asking to requisition parts, or is this a side project? Are you doing it by yourself? Are you bringing other people in? How would Nichizumi like to do this?
Well, she would like to grab a little bit of help from the engineering department. This is going to be kind of like a side project of hers.
Okay, totally. Anybody in particular that you grab, or are you just trying to get an assist?
Well, her engineering is not good, so yeah, that's kind of a problem. But she does have a lot of knowledge of the tank, but she doesn't really know how to build it. How about who's the best engineer we got?
Kelly coughs.
I'm just gonna sit over here with my 5 engineering.
I suppose I will go ahead and ask Kelly for help.
Okay, where are you guys meeting on the ship?
Where's the best place to build it?
That would take some doing if you're going to actually physically build it. For planning and things, there's the holodeck.
Let's start planning first.
Okay. Commander Kelly, you get a communication from Lieutenant Nishizumi that they would like you to meet in holodeck 1.
To what do I owe the honor?
Well, I thought you could help me out with the project I was planning.
All right, I'll be right down.
Thank you very much.
And Saoirse will head down to holodeck 1.
Nishizumi will already have her Kuro Morimine uniform on.
Okay, great.
Her Thin Shadow one.
Now, yeah, so, Kelly, you walk into holodeck 1 and you see a blank program that's in the process of being built up. So, this is going to be a once per session extended task. This is not something you're going to be able to get done in 1 day. Probably it's going to take you from the design phase to getting the materials to building it in a proper way. It's going to take, well, it depends on how fast you go, but just putting it this way, I'm going to be putting the magnitude at 4. Your work is going to be 16. Base difficulty for this is going to be, I'll say 4. Your resistance, since you're already working from the tanks that you've worked with back on Earth, I'm just going to keep the resistance. Since you're designing this in a holodeck that's lowers the resistance, since you're trying to build it on board a ship as a side project and not with full, like, coordinated help from the entire engineering staff, I'm going to have the resistance be at 2. Great.
I definitely want to roleplay this conversation out.
Absolutely. I will give you a small amount of time because there's other things I would like to do this session, but just to...
Okay.
Saoirse walks in, stops. She looks Nishizumi up and down, then jerks a thumb towards the door. Should I go get my flight suit on?
If you wish, sure.
Well, what's the goal here? You just said it was a project, and you're wearing that.
Yes, this is my old Thin Shadow uniform, but my old school's Thin Shadow uniform. But I was thinking about perhaps building an actual tank.
Well, like usable on a modern battlefield, or are we gonna kit bash a legit World War II tank?
Well, we're gonna create a more modern one because clearly, obviously, a tiger would not stand a chance to a phaser blast. But
Yeah, Tiger wouldn't
um,
stand a chance against a Type 1.
agreed. But I was thinking perhaps making a more modern one that can actually withstand those hits. But we can also use it for exploration as well on planets, since it's much faster than just simply walking.
Oh, we do that. It's not going to look like a Tiger.
What you're talking
Well,
about
that's
is an
not my
armored
plan.
personnel carrier.
Okay.
My plan is to not make it look like a tiger. It's I mean we because the tiger, as much as I love my school's vehicles, they are heavy, very very difficult to maintain. Those are the main issues with them. So I was thinking perhaps we can do something a little bit in between, something a little bit more reliable, but and a little bit lighter than something like a tiger, because that thing is just way too heavy and just gets bogged down in mud way too easily.
So we want to modernize it. It probably is going to be more heavy, but we can mitigate that by just making the damn thing hover.
That would require lots of power. Anything?
So does a shuttlecraft, but it's about the same size.
Fair
We can
enough.
put a small antimatter reactor in this thing.
Okay. The
Small
GM
fusion
is
reactor, if
dying.
nothing else.
But
The Federation
what if,
does have stable cold fusion at this point, right?
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
I believe impulse engines are.
yeah, I think so too. But the main issue with that is, what if that impulsion system is disabled? Then it can't move.
Well, what if its tracks are disabled? Then it can't move either.
Fair point. But I was just thinking maybe perhaps a possible backup system in case.
Well, we could do that. It'd add mass, but we can do that.
Alright. And, well,
We can
and
definitely put a shield generator on it, maybe a small phaser cannon.
that work.
I'm going to amend this slightly. We're not going to do... Yeah, so... I'm not going to make it an extended task because you guys are fully creating it out of... If you were trying to make a replica of something that existed...
We were just trying to make like a replica to use it as like a baseline of what we can use. And then in the meantime, currently in this conversation, we're just planning on what we can do for the real one. But for now, we can work on making a replica and see what we can use off that.
Okay, that's great. So I'm still going to change up the way that we're doing this. The role that we're going to do here is going to start the process. It will still be a control or it'll be control or reason engineering, difficulty 4, to get to a place where you can start to design this. And then after that, in between this session and then in 3 weeks when I'm back from vacation, you will need to have given me schematics, at the very, very least, a list of things that you want it to have. Whether that be you want it to hover, you want it to roll on the ground, you want it to have a shield generator, what kind of reactors is it going to have, what's the capacity, are these things going to be modular, like things like that. I want those plans on my desk. Then, depending on what you give me, I will give you an extended task that will match what you want. And then what you get out of that extended task will be both making one and getting the ability to call upon that, and you could use that as a small craft slot instead of a shuttle, if you'd like. Then you would just transport the big hunkin' thing down
Right.
And then you'd be able to get everybody down there. So I will, like I said, control or reason engineering.
Okay, so I can do reason.
Difficulty of 4. Nishizumi, I will allow you to roll reason con.
All right.
That'll give you some assistance. Since you're making a vehicle, this is what you're doing. So you're adding insight that I get this from an engineering standpoint, but we still need to be able to drive the thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And figuring out control interfaces and stuff. I will also allow a ship assist, since you're using the holodeck to assist, assist you with planning. Let me figure out what that role would be. That'll be computers. That'll be computers engineering for the assist. Go ahead and give me the roll.
All right. I am going to I'm going to give you a threat to get a dice.
Okay.
And for my assist, little armored vehicles. Good.
Yeah.
Sorry about the Bork and Doggo. Don't know what's up.
Armored vehicles would definitely be a focus for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I do not have an applicable focus, but I do only need to roll below 17. So.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. That's absolutely lovely. Hopper, it's okay. What's working you out, baby girl? She's acting like there's someone at the door, but there's no one there.
Squirrel? Question mark.
Not with this weather.
Too cold outside over there.
Yeah. All right, here we go. My 3 dice.
It was 49 and sunny today in Wisconsin.
Ooh, that's
Can you re-roll that?
Yeah, because I paid with a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And we can also re-roll the Guan Yus.
Yeah, since you're using computers, yeah.
Hey!
Nice.
Alright, and the Guan Yus. Tragic. But I believe
2. 4.
that does give us our 4 successes.
In total, I believe 5, huh? So 1 momentum generated from that. You are able to... a couple of things you're able to do with this task. Number 1, you're able to set up a program that's specifically meant for you to brainstorm ideas. In the holodeck, you're able to schedule time where you're going to be able to figure this out. You are going to be able to continually use the holodeck until it actually comes time to make the thing. Making one will be exceedingly difficult without the assistance of a starbase, which you have one, but you may be away from that for an extended period of time. You don't know. So just letting you know. You're able to also set aside basic materials like whatever you're going to make the hull out of, computer systems that you may or may not need. You have extra stuff in storage that you're able to just throw together and make one. You also see one thing that would assist you greatly. You can do kind of what you did with the sub shuttle and turn a shuttle into just one of these, but you still need to go through the effects of designing it to be like that. You could also just use it for materials as well. But yeah, that's what that role gets you. So, like I said, the 2 of you, I would recommend perhaps getting together outside of the sessions, if you could find time, maybe just in like a text chat or something. Preferably separately from the Guan Yu chat so that I'm surprised when you give me all the things. I would...
Yeah, we can probably throw up a server.
Or just do it like a DM or something.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, so I would strongly recommend be reasonable. in the things that you want. Most likely, I will give you most of them, but if I were to give you all of the things that you want, that wouldn't be that wouldn't be good GM practice. So expect some complications if you make it too insane. Like if you want it to turn into like a Megazord or something.
Yeah, no, we're not going to turn into a rat. No,
A transformer.
Yeah. Autobots.
Roll out.
Autobots, warp out.
Warp out.
When my character finds out that this project exists, I'm going to insist that plenty of machine guns be actually installed in this.
Oh, you would. You will be the first to know once it's ready.
Yeah, that's something that I will bring up. There's going to be a point where Captain Lee, and you both know this, that your higher-ups are going to walk into the holodeck one day and they're going to see a huge thing that's the size of a shuttle and be like, what are you guys doing in here? So just keep that in mind. But so that's, and if you're trying to actually like retrofit shuttles and stuff like that, absolutely you would need to be looping in at the very least, Commander Edwards and Captain Lee, and that would be a scene that you would run with them.
Once we're out of the planning initial stages.
Yeah, we're still in the planning stage, of course.
Okay, great. I'm going to say, unless somebody has something really cool that they want to do before we get to the planet, I will fast forward us there.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, once, twice, three times, and here we go. Yeah, you guys get there right around noon, your time, 1200 your time. You're able to, normal shift assignments. Everybody who's a player character is currently on the bridge, unless Dr. Hagen, you'd be in sickbay for whatever reason.
Not with a second contact scenario like this. She'd be on the bridge.
Okay, totally.
Specifically, I think to advise if she senses anything going on with the conversation.
I see. You warp into the system. You've been in the system before. You see some small craft, some like scale 1, scale 2 shuttles actually are patrolling the system currently. You see that the iconography is slightly different on the vessels. You go through the orc cloud and come into the system. Captain Lee, you are currently receiving a hail from the planet that you're on your way to.
Open hailing frequency.
Approaching Federation vessel. This is... excuse me. This is First Minister Arlen of the Orian people. We welcome you back to our system. I believe you are here to escort myself and my people, my contingent, back to your space station, correct?
That's correct for Toxin, and we so look forward to returning to this system and conveying your presence back to our starbase to meet the Admiral.
Wonderful. I suppose I should describe First Minister Arlen. Whereas the previous representative to the planet wore a very sort of flowing blue dress, had long sort of flowing hair, webbed fingers and toes and stuff. And not toes, you wouldn't know that about the toes, but sort of reptilian features. This man who's looking at you is very basic looking, very like light beige sort of top. You only see the top half of his body. No hair, bald, sort of scaly reptilian head. eyes, nose, and a mouth, and nothing really there. You see a little lapel that you recognize as the symbol of the Orian people on his sort of coat. He appears to be just a nondescript person who's identifying themselves as First Minister. Well, Captain Lee, I believe, feel free to come into our space, and we will meet you at your transport coordinates. We have a nice little dinner prepared, and we look forward to entertaining our hopeful Federation allies.
Can I ask what I sense from him as this conversation is going on? Just on an emotional level.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to correct a little bit. You get never mind. You sense surface level thoughts. You don't really
of the right here. You cannot choose not to sense the emotions of those nearby.
I see.
For those who are resistant to telepathy.
Okay. So yeah, you sense that this person has a very diplomatic, like amped up happiness towards your approach. Right. You do not sense any other emotions.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we weren't being, tricked.
Okay.
He's happy we're here so he can kill us.
Yeah, so you see that the First Minister ends the communication.
That went well. Speak for yourself.
Oh dear, that do have to wear those things. Why are they so long?
Make it look like we're wearing dresses.
Except I think it was a Romulan psyop. I think they did this.
You see,
sure.
You see Lieutenant Mitchell look over her shoulder at the mention of a Romulan psyop and sort of screw up her face and be like, "What?" Shake her head and go back to what she was doing.
Sorsa just leans on her elbows on her console. Well, they are called dress uniforms. That might not have translated properly somewhere along the line.
Right, but I mean, I don't know anywhere where you wear a dress and also ankle-length pants.
I think it's supposed to resemble more like a coat.
It's right, especially when it's boiling hot, as it always is in the meeting rooms, no matter what.
Nishizumi is very quietly, holding very, very strong disdain about wearing a uniform or wearing this uniform.
Okay.
She's very quietly, but she's not showing it to anyone.
And I think that Hagen definitely clocks it.
No, yeah, Dr. Hagen, you feel sort of a seething, I want to say angst about just
definitely angst
from Lieutenant Nishizumi in regards to dress uniforms.
Nishizumi knows what I'm talking about.
I beg your pardon, Doctor.
You know what I'm talking about. Those dress uniforms are terrible.
Wait, does my character know that you're a
I'm a Betazoid. I can't help it. It's an automatic thing.
Does my character even know that about you?
Very known, yeah, totally.
Okay.
You've been in the room with her with Dr. Hagen as she's doing telepathic stuff.
Yeah. Then in that case, she just nods, just a soft nod to her. She's trying not to notice being one. I never volunteered.
No, you've just got voluntold.
That is the worst kind of Volan.
She is waiting for the time when she can meet the designer of the uniform and throw them underneath the treads of a.
Very on brand.
I believe that every Starfleet officer that has ever had to put on that dress coat has felt that emotion.
You see Lieutenant Mitchell turns around and says, "Well, I actually happen to. I mean, I think it looks nice, and I'm not opposed to looking nicer than usual."
I will say there are a certain few people that can pull off the look. I'm not one of them.
I would disagree, Dr. Hagen. I would say I believe I saw you in, and you see Lieutenant Mitchell goes quiet and gets a really red face. And you see Mitchell walks out of the bridge. Hagen, you sense waves of just embarrassment coming off of her.
That is the first time I have seen someone abandon their post out of sheer humiliation.
The entire bridge laughs.
Mitchell. I have to catch her after this and apologize about that.
Yeah, that was rough.
Oh, that was rough.
And with that, Nishizumi, your fingers play across the Elcars, and you pull yourself into orbit of the homeworld. Who all is going to be coming down? I'm assuming all of senior staff would be. That's up to Captain Lee. Who to be coming down?
Hagen would definitely like to come down because this time she won't be shot at. Hopefully.
Are you sure?
Locked in a room with someone who's willing to turn a photon torpedo into a dead man switch.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the appearance of this is all supposed to be diplomatic and nice, so I will, we'll open it up to all senior officers here, so they'll. Yes, as yeah. All right. Well, I imagine we must keep someone in charge of the ship. So yes.
She looks at everyone like, "Why am I being volunteered to go down there again?"
Because you spoke up against it.
Okay. So I'm just doing this for my notes. It's Captain Lee, Commander Kelly, Lieutenant Nishizumi is being voluntold to go.
I said nothing.
Well, you're a second officer, dude.
Oh, fuck!
I'm assuming, yeah, you're definitely going down with the captain. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
I thought the CMO was the second officer. Am I wrong about this?
Yeah, actually, because if the second officer is in charge of the ship, the doctor is probably very much needed in sickbay.
Right, gotcha. That makes sense. Okay.
Okay, so who's all going now? Okay.
Everyone gets a phaser, right? A Type 1 or Type 2?
The Type 1 would be probably acceptable, yes.
Captain Lee, make a reason command roll.
Maybe not for everybody, but for like a couple of security officers.
Well, I don't think we would bring security to dinner.
Yeah, so Captain Lee, you would know by just the you were transmitted specifics about your mission. You would know, and Edwards would also know. What the function is: a diplomatic dinner with the Council of Orians on the planet that are going to be hosting the Federation. And you're allowed to bring down as many as you'd like. You would know protocol-wise, for diplomatic functions, especially something as formal as dinner, you usually, and especially at something that you're doing dress robes with, you usually would not beam down armed. That's just protocol. You can certainly be safe and do that. That's up to the commanding officer. So.
Yeah. Last time we were down here, we ran into Romulans. So. Fair point.
I don't know about that. There were some pretty hot words.
Yeah.
I will leave it right up to Captain Lee.
Yeah, phaser bolts might not have been thrown, but shade was.
All right. Yeah. Type 1 inside the rollover such I would find acceptable.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah, if that's your order, certainly.
You want me to roll something here?
Oh no, I was going to consider having you roll to see if you knew the protocol, but it would be given in your briefing anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would know, and this is just because Captain Lee is very experienced. You would know that weapons at something like this, if they're seen, it can be, to some people it could be, to rational people it would be like, oh yeah, they're coming to, that's their protocol, they come down armed. But for some like pacifist races, you know that they would not take kindly to that. You know that they're not necessarily pacifist. So yeah.
Right.
So Captain Lee, Kelly, Nishizumi, Hagen, you all head to well, number one, you guys get dressed up in your dress uniforms, and they are, as described, tight-fitting. They are very form, sort of, they cling to you. They have a nice little sort of pointy thing on it with your pips. You all, as you walk in, you all look rather dapper with your...
As they're standing on the platform, the transporter platform, Saoirse just sort of adjusts her uniform a bit, clasps her hands behind her back, looks at the captain, and goes, "As snug and flattering as this uniform is, I'm going to get you for this later."
Hagen walks in and she's like doing the Picard tug on the uniform to try to get it to form right, and it's like bunching up in a couple of weird places, and finally she gets it all down. She's just like, I fucking hate this thing.
You need to see a tailor, Kestra.
No, I feel very comfortable in my uniform because at least I had an ensign or a yeoman help me out.
Yeah, you had the assistant to the captain, which I believe is an actual position.
Is
actually comes to you and goes, "Captain, I'm gonna adjust your uniform. It's not right," and grabs you physically and pulls it down, kind of wringing your neck.
Saoirse stares at that, then looks over at Kestra. Why didn't we go to a tailor on the holodeck?
It's not a matter of the tailoring. It's just that the entire thing is uncomfortable. If I push it up so it's comfortable on my neck, it's bunches weird, and if I pull it down so that it's actually right, it's too tight on my neck and my chest. It's terrible. The whole thing is terrible.
That's the fact that there's a holographic. Then the fact that there's a holographic tank in the holodeck right now.
Well, there's multiple holodecks, and you can say Rogue One shut it down.
Actually, how many holodecks are there on an Intrepid?
I think there's only
2.
Oh, there are 2. Okay.
Yeah. But we can save as many programs as we want. They're like basically WordPad files in size compared to the main computer.
Right.
Okay. This is where I'm going to ask a slightly more important question. Where is everybody? You see a security crew. Actually, it can be Edwards if you want, but a security officer hands you the 4 of you Type 1 phasers, the handheld model, very small but still able to do some damage. Where is everybody going to be hiding their weapons?
Kesha's definitely got a thing in her boot. She wears the boot on the uniform, and she tucks it in there.
Okay.
Saoirse is going to make a stop by a replicator and create herself a little wrist sheath for it, so that, with those nice loose sleeves on the uniform, if she flicks her wrist a certain way, it drops into her palm.
For that, I would...
Actually, I'd love one of those if you can hook me up with that.
Oh, she's not telling anyone.
there's going to be a cost associated with that. I will say it would be opportunity 1 for that. Just because that's not something that's standard issue, and you'd be creating it. So I'd just take a momentum if you'd like to do that.
Any objections?
No.
Okay. You're able to. It's sort of a leather buckle situation. You right underneath your arm. It sort of kind of indents nicely into your arm, and you're able to sort of move your arm in sort of a quick motion, and the phaser drops into your hand. Nishizumi, where are you going to put your phaser?
The pocket's too obvious. But then again, though, she's a tinker. She doesn't know anything about being sneaky. She'll put it. She'll probably put it. Actually, is there like a thigh holster in this universe?
I don't. Like around your waist.
No,
like a drop leg holster.
Yeah, drop leg holster.
That would be obvious unless you want to go with the literal dress skirt option.
Yeah, fair point.
In which case, you'll be flashing half the room when you draw it.
Fair point. I'll instead put it in my boot instead.
Okay.
At some point before we did all this, I did go apologize to Lieutenant Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, totally. You run into Lieutenant Mitchell in the hallway on your way to the transporter room. You're in your dress uniform. Lieutenant Mitchell sort of stops in the hallway.
Lieutenant, I did want to apologize. I did not mean to set you up like that.
No, totally.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna make a roll, actually. Hang on. Where is she? There's Sarah. Me making up what would be considered a charisma check in Star Trek Adventures. This is daring of her. Khan, because you're this is kind of what she's made for, huh? I'll roll 2 dice and see if she gets. Yeah, base difficulty 1. Okay. No momentum generated on that, by the way.
Okay.
You see Sarah sort of. She has this sort of rough, shortish brown hair. She pushes sort of some hair behind her ear, and says, "Well, you do kind of look good in that. Just letting you know." But
oh well.
I should. Sorry, I should. I'm manning
no.
I'm manning
Thank
post,
you.
and she.
Thank you.
Rushes off to a.
Appreciate it.
And she runs away without turning around. Not runs, but she quickly walks up to the bridge.
That's dangerous. That could be fun.
You
Move on.
You feel a sense of like self-assuredness, but also a lot of nerves, like anxiety about it.
Oh no, yeah.
As you go away, as she goes away. Yeah, you're all in the transporter room. The transporter chief looks up and says, "Well, I suppose if everybody's here, I can energize transport. They sent up coordinates a couple minutes ago." Energizing.
Is that Commander Edwards?
Yeah. The blue field's already gone.
Oh, he's getting
Commander Edwards is
scheduled.
Commander Edwards should be really thankful that the transporter interrupted. He probably would have shot him right there.
The blue field comes into your eyes. You see a faint glittering as you're sort of flying through space. You rematerialize back on the planet of Oran. Sort of blue, sort of shimmering skies meet you. I believe that I clarified that this was
shimmer.
Yeah, sort of like the way that the air moves, it sort of creates a mirage effect above you. There's a lot of humidity in the air. You immediately, as you materialize, you sort of pull at your collar a little bit because it's very humid. I would say probably 80% humidity. You look to your left, the ocean right there. You find yourself right on the plate, like right off of the beach is like a grassy area with you sort of look ahead of you. There's an ornate sort of tower-like building that stretches up before you, probably about 10 stories tall, with many windows, a large sort of facing glass face that points out towards the ocean. In front of you, you see the First Minister Arlen. Behind him are three small. You actually see First Minister Arlen is a rather imposing figure. He's around 6'7", 6'8", very broad shoulders. You kind of have that Dorito like torso effect. Like his waist is kind of thin.
That's the best description I've ever heard in my life.
Broad shoulders. Just think of Captain America's like whole body. Not really, but again, bald reptilian head.
I thought you were saying he looked like Donald Trump or something.
Oh no.
Orange tint.
Orange tint, no. He has sort of a dark, sort of blue with some cerulean like flecks in it. Skin. Again, that same beige with the lapel, a very ornamental, like it looks like oceans that are sort of swirling around. The First Minister bows and says, Federation, I welcome you to our planet. We are in the middle of the wet season now. I apologize. You see he's actually wearing like a short sleeves. Everybody, you get the feeling that you're a little overdressed. You guys are both all wearing sort of like long sleeve, very like a little kind of heavy coats and pants. Everybody around you is sort of wearing rather casual, not very finely colored garments.
Short shorts?
No, not short shorts, not booty shorts. A lot of like knee length
Please
wear.
tell me someone is wearing swim trunks and sandals.
You actually do see a passerby walks past you along the sort of a pavement area that's behind you. Is actually wearing sort of not floral in the traditional sense, but sort of brighter colors with footwear that is reminiscent of a 20th and 21st century garment you believe is called a flip-flop or a sandal. Something to that effect. But you see that there's sort of a strap going around the foot with webbed feet sort of around. May I introduce my lesser ministers? You hear the names Gomer, Gomer. This is Minister Gomer. He is our agricultural minister. This is our Minister for Internal Affairs, Minister Farren, Faren. And then this is our Foreign Relations Minister, Minister Farrow, Ferrowe. And I believe I have the privilege of being introduced to Captains Lee. And you see Arlen walks forward and actually extends a hand to you, Captain Lee.
I step forward and shake the hand.
It's kind of like touching a wet fish. Not the most pleasurable experience. Your hand is left very damp afterwards. You feel like sort of the hand sort of grasps you. It's a very strong, firm handshake. And who are your aides, Captain?
Oh, let me introduce my officers here, and I'll just introduce everyone by rank and title, and allow them the honor of shaking the wet hand fish.
Yeah, you all get a wet, fishy handshake from this person.
Dr. Hagen grabs his hand and shakes it, and she's more fascinated. Is this reptilian? Is this amphibious? What's going on here biologically? But it's very nice to meet you.
Oh, you as well. And you are a doctor, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm the chief medical officer aboard the Guan Yu.
Well, that's very wonderful. I hope eventually through our talks that we get to, exchanging biological information and perhaps setting up a medical exchange. Does that sound?
Certainly, I would be very interested in coming back to see what your medical facilities here have to offer.
Well, certainly at a later date we can see if we can manage something. There are going to be a couple of secret rolls that happen. Just one moment.
While those are happening, what's the vibe here? What am I getting?
The general motion is fascination, a lot of happiness, intrigue. You get the feeling that they are very interested in what you have to bring. Are you zoning in specifically on someone and reading deeper, or are you just trying to get base stuff?
I think I'll get surface thoughts just off the ministers. Just like, what's a general, consensus with them? Are they afraid? Are they excited? What's the...
You feel a general vibe of nervous excitement, particularly from the foreign relations minister. You're getting more nerves than excitement.
I can imagine for the foreign relations minister.
I have a couple more secret rolls to do. And you also see, coming behind, walking from the building, you see two sort of larger figures. They appear to be armed with some sort of one-handed energy weapons of some sort. They appear to be the minister's escort.
They're like pistols, so just sidearms, pretty much.
They appear to you to be sidearms, yeah.
Feel safer already.
You see one of them approaches and says, First Minister, you see they actually go into hushed tones and beckons into whisper. Ah, yes. Yeah, that's understandable. And you see the security officer walks behind and goes back into his original position.
I think we just got made.
Yeah, well, that's to be expected, I would think.
I would hope their security personnel can make us. I mean, really?
Right. If they couldn't, we would maybe have a bigger problem.
And you see
Absolutely.
the First Minister looks at you, Captain, and says, while we understand the need for weapons to be brought along, this is, of course, a diplomatic exchange. I hope that that feeling is being brought mutually among all parties.
Absolutely. And, as a sign, if you feel that this is offensive to you, as we do not mean to be
Oh, no.
offending, we would
Oh, no,
certainly
Captain.
be happy to. Well,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no. Thank you for your understanding.
No. We will allow you to remain armed. Just do not take or try to gesture with any weapons. We are, of course...
Only for self-defense, First Minister.
Absolutely not.
Promise.
Certainly. Well, you do not mind our security personnel having weapons out.
Certainly.
I'm glad. If you'll follow us, we have a small dinner prepared. I hope our food will be to your liking. I've gotten a little bit of information. We've tried to whip up something that may be good for all parties. I hope.
Well, excellent. We look forward to it.
You see the First Minister sort of extends, sort of waves you and beckons you and motions for you to follow. And you are led into the building. Again, you see the sun kind of sits high in the sky, and the longer you're outside, the more you get the feeling like, ooh, these uniforms are very, very, like, not made for very humid environments. It's not dangerous by any point, but you feel, as you go into the shade, you feel it's very, very good to have the shade there. You immediately feel 10 degrees cooler.
Saoirse does not seem to mind the heat or humidity.
Okay. Continuing in, you go through these sort of thick, see-through doors, and you find yourself to be in a nice banquet area. You see a long table. At one end, you see a large sort of ornamental chair, which the First Minister starts moving towards. There are some chairs that are less ornamental, but still have sort of accoutrement attached to them. The three other ministers sit, and the remaining, there are about 6 chairs remaining for you to sit. Does everybody sit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You all sit, and you see a spread of food in front of you. Some of it is very unfamiliar to you. You see one plate that sort of has blue and black striped, very crusty looking sort of tubules on it. They don't move at all. They just appear to be stacked on a plate. Right next to a plate of what appears to be pasta with some sort of sauce in it. Sort of reddish white sauce.
Can I, if you don't mind, Minister, and I pull out a tricorder, may I check just to make sure that there's nothing that will harm any of us?
Certainly, Doctor. Feel free. I believe we asked if for any poisonous substances from your diplomatic corps. They
Certainly. Just
provided that, but certainly for safety.
I do a quick scan. Is there, like, what are we looking at here? What is this stuff?
Reason Science Diff 1.
Alrighty, let me pull that up. Reason Science Difficulty 1. Would xenobiology apply?
Yeah. Yeah, it's his own.
Okay.
I gotta do some maintenance on my computer, but I'm still gonna be connected here. Just
Okay.
Yeah, one success.
Okay. You see that the blue and black sort of tubule thing is coral that appears to have been taken from below the ocean and prepared in some way, and it appears to be safe and edible. You do not detect any pathogens or any other food that is outright poisonous. Your tricorder doesn't really get very specific readings as to whether or not things are good or not, or whether your digestive system will be able to, deal
Handle
with
it.
And, yeah, but there is nothing that will kill you if you eat it.
Well, Captain, everything appears to be in order.
excellent. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Do you all load up plates, or what happens?
Oh yeah,
I definitely
definitely.
want to try some of that
Yeah.
coral.
Let's eat.
Yeah, Dr. Hagen, you taste some of that coral. The first note that you get is vegetal on top of vegetal on top of vegetal. But then on the back half, you get sort of a spicy and sweet sort of interplay that sort of meets with that. You can tell that this has definitely been treated with heat and cooked. The aftertaste going down is, think about like Szechuan sauce. It's
Okay.
it's like tangy and very forward tasting.
I think I love this.
Can you say that out loud?
Yes.
You see the first minister, actually the Minister for Agriculture looks at you and says, yes, we do have a nice crop growing. Those...
What is it called?
Dulcimer. Dulcimer coral. Dulcimer is Dillcimmer. We can provide you with specifications to grow your own, or I believe you have very advanced technology and are able to replicate it. I'm not sure how that works, but we can certainly provide you with a sample to go if you'd like.
Certainly, I'd love that.
Well, that's wonderful. And you see the agricultural minister Gomer goes back to their meal. In general, the Alpha Quadrant stuff is kind of like if you were to go to London and eat an American-style burger.
It's all the ingredients are there, but it's not quite right.
Yeah. So you see what apparently was trying to be like chicken, like Alfredo, with pasta and sauce. You taste the chicken. You taste not chicken. It's a different meat. It appears to be poultry, but is very watery and very chewy, and not at all what cooked chicken tastes like. Chicken Alfredo.
It's like Gollibird from Risa.
Not the most pleasant experience on your palate.
No, that was a bad experience at that tourist place.
In general, the Alpha Quadrant food, not really up to par, but a lot of for those who are adventurous enough, a lot of the Orion food tastes quite good, very unique. They're using a spice palette that you're not familiar with that is able to stimulate a lot of glutamate responses on your tongue that you've never thought could be on your tongue. After about 20 minutes or so, First Minister looks at all of you and says, well, I hope everybody has gotten enough to eat. Like I said, we have plenty to go around. I would offer you shore leave here, but I believe we have pressing business on board your station. If you will give me but 20 minutes to prepare, I will be back out, and if you'd like, we can transport back up to your ship.
Oh, we look forward to it.
Yes.
Let us know when you're ready.
Thank you. And you see Arlen stands up, bows again, very deep low, and turns around and takes her security forces, her 2 guards, and motions with them. And you see he goes off at a little bit of a faster walk to a side door and walks down a hallway. You see Minister Farrow looks over at you, Captain Lee, and says, well, from what I heard about the Federation, it appears to be rather competent. I know that your technology, especially your weaponry, is very formidable. I've heard talks of these phased Polaron weapons. I believe that's what you have currently on you. They are.
If I may?
Ah, yes.
We actually used a phased Nadion stream.
Ah,
and
yes.
We sort of take pride in the fact that they are as much tools as they are weapons. They can be used as survival tools, excavation. We've even used them for geological research and stability in some cases.
Very, very interesting. We should make notes of this. Minister Gomer, make sure to put some agricultural goals on the list and applications for this technology. We will be following, of course, Arlen, but from what I gather, he may want to go just by himself. And you see the ministers sort of look at each other and simultaneously all go back eating at the same time. It actually catches your eye. They look at each other and then look down at their food.
What did I catch there? Was there anything?
You actually don't detect anything. No surface level thoughts or emotions. For just that second, they meet each other's eyes, and then they look down, and then you feel like that excitement. They're eating. Ooh, this tastes good. That's the general thoughts that you're getting.
That is.
Sus?
I kind of look over at Kelly. Can I catch Kelly's eye?
Depends on where you're sitting. Are you sitting across from each other or next to each other?
I imagine that I'd be sitting kind of catty corner, diagonal.
Yeah. Then you totally are able to look at each other.
And just subtly the telepathic message. Something weird just happened. And I just continue eating as if I didn't just say that.
Did Kelly catch what happened?
You do not know what Hagen is referring to. No.
Okay. She makes a mental note to ask later.
After another, like I said, 20 or 30 minutes, you are all stuffed, very full. First Minister Arlen walks out and says, yes, well, I will send in our assistants to clear this. If you'd like to follow me at this point, we will take you back to the transport point, and we will head back.
Excellent. Please.
Wonderful. You walk to the transport point. Again, it's about an hour, 10 minutes has passed, so the sun is less so in the top, but it's still pretty warm out, pretty humid out. You see a couple of families sitting on the beach. You see children with very almost nondescript faces with very webbed fingers sort of swimming around in the pool.
Swimming around the pool?
Not in the pool, in the ocean. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, okay.
First Minister Arlen looks at you and says, well, I'm ready when you are. I believe this is my first time being transported. I'm very excited.
Have you ever been off-world, First Minister?
Well, I have been off of our planet. I was among one of the first to be on board some of our small craft once we had discovered our dilithium stores. that was a very exhilarating experience. Certainly not very comfortable, mind you. But does this hurt at all?
No,
Absolutely not.
it's
Please,
a combination of matter and energy transference. Matter and energy are largely the same thing. They just transition from one state to another.
It's very, very interesting. Dr. Hagen, you get the feeling that she's taking mental notes of everything that is being said about the technology.
If they can figure out matter, energy conversion, and transportation from the description, matter and energy are the same thing, they deserve to have it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sorry. Well, can I get a head count on who's transporting up with us, or is it just the minister?
It appears to be just the minister. So the First Minister Arlen. So the three other ministers, when they were dismissed, they seem to stack their plates and go into that same side door. They do not appear to be coming with.
I must ask, Minister, do you not wish to have any staff accompany you on your journey with us?
No. I have communicated with the three ministers beforehand. It seems that they have other duties to attend to. We are, as you may know, we are going through something of a political situation here. While it seems idyllic, there are rumblings. That is one of the reasons why I am traveling alone. I wish to make a rather lower profile than half of my cabinet coming with. That is my reasoning for that, Captain.
And in case something happens on the planet, most of your staff are on hand to deal with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No need to explain. I just wish to be clear and open that you are welcome to bring whatever aides, functionaries, peers that you desire. We can certainly transport them all with you, and they would certainly be welcome.
We appreciate that, Captain, but I am capable of negotiating on behalf of my people without the need for aides or any other staff. I appreciate the concern.
And I didn't mean to imply otherwise. Of course, as your host, if you should need anything, we are happy to oblige. If you're ready, we will transport up.
Okay. You see, he poses in sort of a way. He sort of situates himself. He's very stiff looking and looking around like something will come out and... Okay. He sort of looks sideways at Dr. Hagen and goes, okay. And he looks to have prepared himself as much as he could.
Maybe he's posing for a picture, or his aides are taking a selfie for him or something. Yes. All right. Captain Lee Guan Yu, beam the minister and us up.
Aye, Captain. Coming up now. And yeah, transport goes through. And after a second, you are on the ship. You see the First Minister go, whoa! Well, that didn't take any time at all. That was crazy.
Yes, First Minister. Now, if you will please follow me, all people who first board the ship do need to submit to a medical checkup first thing.
Doctor, we have already been scanned by your diplomatic attaché. Our records
I just need baseline readings for in case something happens. I need to know what your normals look like if something happens so that I can fix it.
I see. A apt protocol, for sure. Are you going to scan me here, or...?
I need to get a medical tricorder.
Okay.
I just need a medical tricorder in order to do the scan. So. Your
normal tricorder is a medical one.
Oh, well then, totally. I'll do the scan here.
Okay. Now,
Are we doing this in the transporter room?
Dr. Hagen, please.
This is standard protocol.
I have not heard that word. I have not heard anything. The transporter chief sort of looks at everyone.
Just step to the
Doctor,
side.
you would know off the top of your head that. Well, actually, yeah, you're going to go ahead and scan. Go ahead and make reason, medicine, difficulty of. You're just doing standard stuff, just looking at
just what are his
readings,
base hormone levels, what resting heart rate, blood pressure. The basic things you need in case there is a traumatic event.
Yeah, reason, medicine, difficulty 1.
And xenobiology would apply, I imagine.
Totally.
And I'll buy a dice with momentum if no one else minds.
Go for it.
There we go.
Okay. That is 1, 2, 3 successes. Through momentum generated, rather, 4 successes. You get all the information that you're looking for. You see that they have an anatomy that's more similar to amphibious species. They are they are cold-blooded, actually. You sense that. You look through that. You see that sort of on their skin. You see a semi-normal heart rate. You see digestion systems and everything like that. Brain patterns are
you said
sufficiently alien for you.
You said that he's cold-blooded?
Yeah.
Captain, we'll need to give him access to the environmental controls in whatever room he's staying in.
Someone please show him how to properly use the control.
I'll handle it, sir.
Very good.
Okay. You see the First Minister goes, did you need me to clarify anything about my physiology?
Do these look like normal results? And I just hold out the scan that I took, blood pressure, heart rate, that kind of stuff.
Well, if the blood pressure is a little high, but that's due to the high-stress environment of my work. I'm sure you understand.
What would you consider a normal rate?
He tells you what the normal rate is. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Right, just like something like 60 over 40 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, so what are you guys going to do?
I have someone I need to show the environmental controls to.
Okay. Captain Lee, you would have, in your preparations, you would have set aside a VIP suite for him.
Absolutely. And once they are off to his quarters, I'll probably want to talk to Edwards and have him come and meet the guy and give him a tour.
Okay. Commander Kelly, you lead. You would know the room that the First Minister is staying in. Commander Kelly, you lead them to him to the VIP Suite 4 is what it is. You walk in. It's much larger than your room. A nice full set of replicators in there. And you see the panel where the environmental control systems are, sort of right by the door.
All right. She's going to show him where that is, how it works. The replicator, she hopes, will have his food on hand soon.
Yeah, you show him all that stuff. He sort of nods along and says, "Okay, so it's this control, and then when I want to raise the temperature, I push this and this slider. Go, okay, I see that. I'm sure that I can speak to your computer, and it will lead me through if I need any assistance."
Indeed. If you require anything else, don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you. And it was Commander Kelly, correct?
Yes, Saoirse Kelly.
Thank you. And you see the minister walks to a couch and sits down and pulls out a pad and starts reading.
Saoirse will excuse herself.
Okay. I believe Captain Lee and Commander Edwards were going to meet. Meeting on the bridge, I'm assuming?
Sure.
Yeah. Edwards are sort of manning the bridge. Captain Lee, after a moment, you hear the doors open from the turbo lift, and you see Captain Lee walk in.
Dinner was interesting. Not exactly my favorite. It wasn't living or moving, but that was all right. But I think we may end up seeing it on the replicator sometime soon. Why don't I relieve you? You can go and introduce yourself to the ambassador there and offer him a tour of the vessel. Pay mind that seems very keenly interested, with our technology and systems. I don't want to bias you, but see what you think. Sort of on the sly, as it were. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Well, I think we'll get underway back to Starbase and right, give them a little tour, and if you see fit, a demonstration of something, and yeah, just let them have a grand old time, but of course, keep them out of the non-classified areas of the computer. Excellent. Well, I don't think there's anything else unless you have any questions. That's certainly worrisome, but no, it's very good. Go and enjoy your time with the ambassador there.
Okay. You get into the turbo lift, head down to deck 3 where the VIP quarters are on, and you find yourself by VIP quarters 4, where you prepped. Hi, sir. Do you have stats and stuff on? Okay. Okay. Paul
Dead
Grist.
now. You gave him a name, which means he has a life, he has a family.
Who are they? Tell us.
It's you see
He is so secret that he's so secret that only one person knows his name.
By the time you get down to deck 3, you see Crewman Grisk come around the corner and say, yes, Commander, what can I do for you? He winks at you and understands. Sounds like I'm on the first step to becoming an officer, sir. And he smiles. After a moment, you hear, hello, come in. Thanks. Ah, yes. Well, that is wonderful. You notice it is about 110 degrees in here as you walk in. Yeah, immediate sweat. Yes. I'm still getting the hang of the environmental control systems. Computer. Doo-doo. All right. It's just that when I'm not moving and sitting and reading, it tends to get rather cold rather quickly. So, is there absolutely? Is there anything else that I can do for you, Commander Edwards? Um, I'm trying to be a good guest. Yes, I was actually an engineer. I know my version of an engineer and your version of an engineer are probably pretty different, but if I could get a tour of your certainly, if I could perhaps get a tour, not today, but perhaps while we're on our way, of your engineering section. I'm very interested to see what this ship uses as propulsion. You see, he chuckles. A joke, I sense. Thank you. One question. Not to impose, but I do. I would like to look at the technical schematics of this vessel, if I could. Can I just access that from that console there, or would I need authorization for that? Thank you. Absolutely. Anything to do with, I believe, Sersha mentioned matter energy transport. I know that we are still in the beginnings of diplomatic relations between our peoples, but that science interests me very greatly. That would not necessarily be necessary, but technical readouts will be fine, I think. Thank you. And he smiles and bows very low and sits back down. You know that they bow no matter who's talking. That's their handshake. You know what I mean? So bowing back would be seen as normal. Intentionally not bowing back would be considered an affront. But you get the feeling that he's granting you the grace because nobody has bowed back to him so far. So, and yes, I. He bows back. Well, you both bow, and he sits down and goes back to reading his datapad. It was like 100 degrees in there, Commander. You hear a sigh. He actually
Please
rushes
don't
back to
make
you before you get to the
crewman Grisk come down into my sick bay with heat exhaustion.
Is there I know that assistant duties are I know what those entail, but am I to be an escort as well? If so, I'm wondering what. Ah, Okay. For example, the readouts on our... Are you going to be providing him with those? Ah. Seems reasonable enough to me, sir. Well, if you need me, I will be hanging out in the hallway, putting my head in, getting sweaty, and then coming out. He will turn around and walk down back. Okay. To clarify, you are rather close to Deep Space Fortitude right now. It's about a 4 or 5 day journey. It was a week and a half to get where you were in deep space to where you are now. So you do have another 4 or 5 days of travel time. Is there anything else that you would like to consider? And just for the record, I don't know if you want to run a scene, Edwards and Lee, about the schematics, but that's up to you.
Are you
sorry?
For a moment?
Yep. Sorry. That's my fault. Yeah. So if you guys wanted to run a scene in regards to the schematics, that's something that we could do in the 4 or 5 days that you have in travel time. Or if you just want to give me a declarative, yes, we're giving him these schematics. Depends on what you want to do.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, maybe kindergarten level without any details behind the science involved. Because that's
maybe not so much giving him the schematics for a matter energy transporter as much as maybe just giving him the equations that would be necessary to figure it out.
Though, I don't think handing over technology even to a culture that is warp capable is something in our purview prior to formal negotiations between our two, because that's a negotiable point, you guys. The exchange of technology.
I believe he is correct. We may want to say, like this ship can travel in excess of this speed, and have like a conversion table to let him figure out that is, but don't tell them how we get it to go that fast. Like Sersha said that, their phasers are a phased nadion stream. Well, that is informative, but doesn't fucking tell them how to create a stable particle beam.
Right, and that was my idea with the math. Like, if you just give them the math, it's going to take them years to figure out how to apply it.
But what I'm hearing is a no on tactical schematics, correct?
Oh, yes. That's definitely a no.
Okay. Okay. About 2 days later, Captain Lee, you're on the bridge. Lieutenant Mitchell is currently at a comm station and says, Captain, incoming message from Deep Space Fortitude. I believe it's Admiral Yannick.
Yes, Admiral.
It's on a secure channel, sir. I don't know if you want it to be broadcast on the bridge.
Oh, well, I'll take it in my ready room.
Okay. You go to your ready room. You see the secure channel sort of screen comes up. You type in your authorization codes, and it activates. Captain, status.
We're on the way back to the starbase. We have the ambassador on board. He has no staff here with him. he's been most inquisitive towards technology, including power generation, possibly even tactical systems. Though, of course, we have limited his access to any critical technologies as is standard for guests.
I see. And you're detecting ulterior motives for this inquisitive nature of theirs?
No, I would imagine that curiosity is natural. It's not just a human trait. Yes, he reportedly has an engineering background, from what he tells us. But as I said, we're just taking our standard measures as if this were, as it is, a first contact, and limited his access.
Sersha clears her throat. If I may,
I don't believe you're there.
You're not in my ready room.
Oh, I thought we were on the bridge. I'm sorry.
She has magically appeared in your ready room.
Just popping out of the Jeffrey's tube. Excuse me, I have something
Exactly.
Cool. You see the Admiral looks at you and says, Captain Lee, I won't lie to you, we need that dilithium. I would recommend I would recommend to you, of course, my recommendation is just that, a recommendation. I don't feel comfortable ordering you to, but feel free. He does have an engineering background. Satisfy his curiosity. Keep him away from tactical systems. Assuredly, he doesn't need to know about our tactical capabilities at this point. I'm assuming that he already has seen his fair share of what we have to offer. If he's interested in propulsion systems, I mean, they have rather primitive, but still warp. They are still warp capable, as you pointed out. We're in it with the long haul with these people, and we want to make sure that they are open to opening diplomatic interests, and most importantly, a trade route. That's our main goal here. Consider that a directive. We need to keep on the good side of these peoples, if at all possible. Describe to me how your dinner went. I hear. Was it satisfactory, Captain?
Yes, I believe that the Federation acquitted itself well. We didn't learn too much beyond the usual diplomatic niceties. It was relatively brief and just an immediate segue to returning to the ship with the First Minister and departing.
I see. Well, you're about 2 days out from our scans. I do want to let you and you alone in on what we are going to be doing. We want to show the Orion people that we are capable of defending them, if that is what is required. Coming in, we will be running a series of simulations to show our effectiveness tactically in protecting them, firstly against Romulan incursion. They appear to be very frantic about getting that. That's why they have opened the door to us like they have. We're going to be showing them the way that we operate, and we hopefully will dazzle them with the Guan Yu's abilities in simulated events. Filter this throughout to your first officer, but be vague on the details with the rest of your senior staff. I want this to be as much of an assessment on them as it is a good showing on behalf of the Orions. Is that clear?
Perfectly clear, Admiral.
Wonderful. After that, you will be the Guan Yu will be putting in for refit. We're giving you some additional systems, some improvements to your computer core, so you will be docked during this. But just so you're aware, is there anything else that you'd like to bring up at this time, Captain?
I do not believe so, Admiral. We'll see you in a couple of days.
See you in a couple days. DS Fortitude out, and the line goes dark. Okay. Is there anything that Captain Lee would like to do at this point?
I want to call Edwards to the ready room.
Okay. Edwards walks into your ready room. Yeah. You're holding some Twizzlers or something.
I just had a communication with the Admiral, who just wanted a cursory report, really, on how our dinner and first encounter with the First Minister went. I mentioned to the Admiral that the First Minister professed to be an engineer and had somewhat extraordinary curiosity regarding our technology, including, power generation, matter antimatter conversion. Says that we are desperate enough for their lithium that we should accommodate and allow him access to non-tactical systems. Okay. Still, I'm curious. A little more curious about the First Minister. Will you have her sort of try and filter out certain technical details? Her choice. And let's just see how sharp our First Minister is. I'm sure if he can spot missing information, perhaps he will ask us. But that will let us know he is quite a skilled engineer or scientist. Yes. Understand my meaning here? Very good. And what do you think of the First Minister? Just personal opinion. Is Grisk, did you assign Grisk as an escort or just a liaison? Right. Okay. No, I understand that. I have certain small reservations about that, especially since we don't really know that much about these people or their situation, their motives, or what drives them. But I can't fault the logic there. And we are the hosts, and we're a mere 2 days away till back to Starbase, and this may not be our direct problem anymore. Yeah. Have you thought about the First Minister as a changeling? Could explain the rapid change of heart, Changeling agent. Just hypothesizing, of course. Yes. Well, no, but I mean, what if you had a agent provocateur in this position? He could certainly execute the proper actions, instigate regime change, and here we are. And to what end? To gain access and to meet with Admiral at our brand new base. Could wreak quite a bit of havoc, right? None. None. I just have a
52.
active imagination. All right. Very well. Let's carry on and tell short shift, whatever, to
Ursha!
to make the changes. Yep.
Okay. Well, 2 days of travel time. Commander Kelly, you get the order to read the First Minister into technology as he so pleases, to your discretion.
Okay. She's gonna ask him if he wants to see the warp core.
The warp core. What a good idea. I will follow you. If we could, I would like to go at somewhat of a jog. It's rather cold on this ship outside of this room.
I know how you feel. I was forcibly acclimated to warmer temperatures.
Oh. Sounds like a story. And continues out of the door. Yeah, you both jog down to engineering. Sort of do. You see that he actually does jog. Like he's rather tall and he appears to be rather fit.
Hirsch's no slouch. She's going to keep pace.
He sees. Okay. You exit the trooper lift and come out into engineering. He sort of looks up at the warp core and just says, "It's so big."
Well, she's a fast ship.
And what was the max speed again?
If we push the engines, we can travel in excess of warp 8. And we use a, how shall I put this? I've forgotten the word for math. Give me a moment.
Exponential?
Yes, exponential. Thank you. We use an exponential scale in terms of our warp factors.
Well, that's very interesting. Yeah. Any other information you can give me, especially, it seems like that transport process, doesn't that take a huge amount of power?
Well, yes, but we're working off a matter-antimatter reactor. That extracts about 99.9% of the energy from the matter we put into it.
Give me 1 second.
You broke the minister's brain.
Stares into the middle distance, a single drop of drool leaves
I'm
the
being
corner of
handed
his mouth.
food. Just give me 1 second.
Because you haven't bullied a private into it. Okay. You haven't told a private to do it.
I saw the.
Okay, sorry about that. Was being handed Culver's. Sorry about that. Want to shut the door? Thank you. Sorry, that was my boyfriend. Yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
No, I was.
Oh, I was asking Jack what Kelly said.
Well, now I've got a mouthful of pizza. Give me a moment. Okay. Saoirse said, "Oh, we're functioning off of a matter-antimatter reactor. That siphons out 99.9% of the potential energy from the fuel we put into it."
Wow, the power potential of that must be insane. You see, he goes, well, thank you for the tour, Saoirse.
If I may ask you a question?
Yes.
On your ships, how do you move power around? What's your medium there?
We use something, he relays information to you that I don't have the top of my head. It's early TOS technology.
Okay. She nods a moment and says, "We have to direct plasma flows to handle the energy load."
Oh, okay. Right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And
it's a little more dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. You and him go back and forth in regards to all sorts of stuff. He asks you about propulsion. He asks you about matter-antimatter technology. He asks you about replication, stuff like that. And you escort him back to his room after a long day of walking around and looking at consoles and stuff. And he goes, well, thank you so much, Commander. I will remember this for a very long time.
It's been my pleasure, sir.
Thank you. 2 days pass. And Nisizumi, you see that you're at the drop point for Deep Space Fortitude. You drop out of warp, and you see something that you haven't seen in a very long time.
What is it?
Deep Space Fortitude, no fires, nothing bad happened. You see it as a station floating over a rocky, uninhabitable planet in a small star system. And to all of you on the bridge, you feel your shoulders relax. You say, oh my God, thank God, we're at home. We are home, and you're back where you're meant to be. You get a communication, whoever's on comms, I think Nishizumi would probably be on it, that you have someone waiting to transport aboard.
Captain?
Getting this communication.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Who's getting this communication?
Whoever's, I was just saying Nishizumi, just because he would be coming in.
Okay.
Captain?
Yes.
We are getting a communication from the wait. Out of character, GM, this is from the station, right?
Yep. Someone on the transporter chief on the station is telling you that they have someone that they are trying to transport over.
The station is contacting us to let us know that they have someone to transport over.
Who is it?
I will pry for that information from the station.
You see that it's Admiral Yannick.
Oh,
by all means. Give me a few moments to walk over to the transporter room.
No need. He transports right in front of you. Captain.
Admiral.
Hope you don't mind me intruding.
Welcome aboard.
Well, thank you so much. It's nice to see an Intrepid class all the way out here. I tell you, it's nice to have our main ship back. We have some business to attend to. Captain, Commander, if you and your senior staff would please follow... Captain, would you please escort me and your senior staff towards where the First Minister is staying?
Absolutely. I'd be delighted to introduce you. Follow me, and we'll all head to the turbolift.
Okay. The captain gives the order for... Sorry, what?
And then I'm going to
Aye, sir.
I'm going to hit the comm badge and say, "Computer, where is the First Minister?"
The First Minister is in his quarters.
All right. We'll turbolift towards his quarters.
Thank you for the warning, Commander. I see. We got some intelligence that they were cold-blooded. Is that correct? Okay. He actually goes so far as to loosen his top buckle. And you see his jacket kind of comes open a little bit, and you see a white undershirt underneath it. Feel free to relax as we go in there as well. You see he follows Captain Lee to the quarters. And First Minister Arlen is there and opens the door. Captain, and who do we have here?
First Minister, I am delighted to introduce you to... Gosh. Yannick. Oh, really? To Admiral Yannick. He is our most immediate superior here in this region of space, representing the United Federation of Planets. Admiral Yannick, sir, this is First Minister Arlen.
First Minister, he bows. It is wonderful to make your acquaintance. I believe we have some activities planned for you once we transport aboard the station. Want to get right to it. We have some simulations prepared. We actually have the technology. I'm not sure if you've been read in. We have the technology to simulate anything using holograms. And we have these so-called holodecks on the station, and we would like to show you how we operate, if that is okay with you. And First Minister nods. Dr. Hagen, you would be here, correct?
Yes.
Insight Medicine. You're getting something from your telepathy. Insight Medicine difficulty 3.
Does telepathic prowess apply?
Yep.
I'll buy a dice with momentum.
Okay.
It's 2 momentum generated, I believe.
Absolutely kills it. Up to 4 momentum in the pool. You, at meeting with the Admiral, you feel a change in the emotions from the First Minister. Before, it's always been a very sort of energetic and happy. It's kind of turned into focus and sort of, you feel like an internal like fist pumping. Not really, but like he's kind of achieved a part of what he needs to do.
Right.
And you sense this.
Well, I noted and move on.
Okay, great.
Are we showing him the holodeck on the station or the holodeck on the Guan Yu?
On the station.
Okay, good. So I was gonna say one of those has an alien in it.
The Admiral says, Commander Edwards, one of your lower ranked helmsmen can take over at helm to dock the station. We will transport from here. I want to get on our way as quick as possible. Is this your entire senior staff? I see one face missing, I think. Feel free to send Commander Kelly down and meet us in transporter room 2. And he turns and walks down the hallway.
That was a very gentle suggestion. In other words, an order. Right.
Saoirse looks confused for a moment. Aye, aye, sir. Well, Lieutenant, you have the con.
Lieutenant Mitchell walks over and says, "Yes, sir," and sits at the con station and begins actually starting. You're pretty far out at this point, probably on the other side of the system's orc cloud, sort of starting to pilot it and actually bring you towards the station. You all meet in transporter room 2. Well, yes. Is there anything else that you guys need on the ship? You'll have a chance to go back there later. Come back here later, but if not, we will just transport right to the station and get right to work. Okay. You all stand on the transporter pad? Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to do something that I've never asked you. Okay. So the first, you see, the Admiral actually notices this and says, I can transport in a second, and steps off the pad. You all get in to the pad. I'm going to need a rare thing from you, everybody. I'm going to need an order of who's standing next to who on the pad.
Kestra's standing next to Saoirse.
I guess Saoirse will have the commander on one side and Kestra on the other. This is turning into a logic puzzle.
And I guess I would stand next to the First Minister.
Okay. And then Nichizumi is kind of like right in the middle.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. 5 in the circle with 1 in the middle, I think.
There should be 6 places around the rim of the transporter and 1.
Okay, and then the 1 blank in the middle. Okay, yeah, totally. Okay, great. Okay, great. The transporter chief enters the pad. One moment, please. I'm spending all my threat.
Oh dear.
I told you he was a bomb.
Yeah, so you all transport aboard. And that's your order? Right there? Okay. As the blue glow covers your eyes, you feel something different happen. You feel as though, all of you feel this, you feel as though you're moving away from where your body, quote unquote, is. You sort of feel a ephemeral freedom. You're able to move through the blue. This is involuntary on your part, and happens in a second. As you materialize, your eyes open. Commander Kelly?
Yeah?
You hear this. A cacophony of voices. Some whispered, some shrieking. You immediately have a headache, and you drop to your knees. Dr. Hagen, you can't see out of one eye as you come in. Lieutenant,
Okay, am I experiencing any pain?
you feel a sharp pain in your head. Piercing headache.
I'm going to take my medical tricorder.
You have a medical tricorder on you.
What's that?
You do not have a medical tricorder on you. Matter of fact, as you look down, you have a yellow uniform on.
What the
Saoirse is probably on her knees clutching her head.
Your eyes are shut. You don't see anything, Kelly.
Yeah, no.
Lieutenant Nishizumi, are you there? Yeah?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Nishizumi, you are about 2 heads taller than you were. You feel like muscles tensing as you sort of move. You feel on the back of your neck sort of an empty feeling.
I mean, an empty feeling, like I don't know where I am.
You feel no hair where hair was before. You all look down at yourself. Your body is not yours.
Oh, come.
You look up.
On.
And Dr. Hagen, you see yourself looking on the ground, clutching your own head. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Minister. Here's some of our technology, and we're displaying, just for your courtesy, a few of the drawbacks. When it goes wrong, boy howdy, does it go wrong.